Get Into Geek. This is episode 123. We're talking
Jesus.
Stargate SG-1.
Holy Hannah.
That's the full Get Into Geek team. My name's Mitch. We got Matty,
Yo.
Brendan,
Hello.
and Rhys.
G'day, guys.
Rhys, our first time
Should've
watcher.
gone 1, 2, 3. That would have been funny.
Should have.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, mate.
Ah, well.
You know what I like
get it.
most about this episode, Mitch?
What you got, mate?
The previously on.
Oh.
You.
Number one on the audio.
That's my most hated. My number one note, too.
Previously on Stargate SG-1.
Rhys, your father made you wrong! No! Yes! Yes!
Almost wanted you to put in you stupid son of a bitch.
And then that was frying pan on the head at the end there.
You know, when I flicked this episode on, press play, I was writing down my notes. Ep 12, Unnatural selection, and I heard that previously on Rhys. As soon as he said Rhys, I'm like, look at the TV with such disdain. You Jackson,
Like
piece of
Daniel's-
shit.
Daniel's
why you
dead,
hate
but
him.
he's still giving it to you.
He's been telling me my father made me wrong for 6 years.
Love it.
6 years. Yeah, I've actually been playing that to you in your sleep since 2008.
That's why I've been dreaming about it.
So if you're a first-time listener, Rhys is our first-time watcher of Stargate. The rest of us
And my
are
father made me wrong.
long-time fans of the show. We're introducing Rhys one episode per week on the podcast. We are here, episode 12 of Season 6, Unnatural Selection. Let's have a look at what the episode's about. Throw it over to Rhys and see what he thought. When SG-1 is marooned in deep space, Thor and the Ancients come to the rescue. What? And then they seek O'Neill's help to combat the replicators who have overrun their home world. What? Convinced they will attack Earth if not stopped. What? O'Neill stages a daring mission to stop the replicators once and for all.
Does that say Thor and the Ancients?
Thor and the
I
Ancients.
call you Steve Austin there, mate. It's a bit of Stone Cold.
What?
Then they seek O'Neill's help to combat the replicators who have overrun their home world.
Well, yeah, the Asgard
it
home
was-
world.
It's
Yeah,
not their home world, though. It's one of their...
It was
No.
their,
like an outpost type
Yeah.
Well,
thing
the
or something.
first
It was
world
their
they
first world.
colonized.
Yes.
Like, honestly,
It
who's
was
writing
there.
this? Last week we said in Prometheus, they literally ran through beat by beat and twist by twist the entire episode. This one, it's like, unnatural selection. I've got this. Let me just make it up on the fly.
Yeah, the,
Yeah.
the
I'll tell you what it
Ancients aren't
sounds
even
like.
mentioned in this, are they?
No.
That's
So
weird.
you only had to wait a week, Rhys. Maddie said to us last week that there was a whole mid-season break between Prometheus and Unnatural Selection. Did the payoff? Did it for you?
Yeah, look, I mean, one of the benefits of watching a TV show that's 20 years old, you know, didn't have to wait a few months. But I don't know. This is sort of, I don't know. I don't know about this one.
What?
don't know.
I've
Goff.
Wow.
No, look, it was a great episode. The concept of it was great, but I didn't buy the whole we're f***ing human now.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
What
I-
bit?
Where they walked out as humans and said, "We are the replicators."
Yeah.
Well, you're not. You're not. You replicate
They're
hardware.
nanites. They're tiny little replicator.
Yeah.
Skin. They've got skin.
Tiny bugs.
Yeah, they're tiny bugs.
Skin-coloured nanites.
They're bug people.
Well, they don't have skin because they shot them with a bullet and went straight through them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They're
don't- it just-
basically they're liquid metal terminators. So it's like if those replicator blocks
Yeah.
shrink down to microscopic size, they can then make these human form replicators.
I
But
still.
I
Don't
have,
forget, they're on the planet for like hundreds of years
Yeah.
to evolve to that state.
I have to agree though.
Shit.
I've never
I
been
want a Terminator.
I've never been
You
a
might
fan
get
of,
it.
I've never been a fan of human form replicators. I'm just not a. I prefer the bugs.
Yeah.
I like them being like a force of nature, a swarm coming through. We can't negotiate with them. We can't reason with them. They are just a force of nature that we've got to blow away.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
We've got the Goa'uld to Shades of Grey, and
Psychological
all
warfare.
that kind. Yeah. Stealing hosts and turning them into enemies and stuff like that. I've never been a fan of human form. I understand from a writing point of view, it gives the writers much more to do with the replicators, and it's much cheaper for them now that they can hire actors rather
Yeah.
than CG.
That's why it pissed me off. I think it was just an easy way out.
Yeah.
Like they could have made it so epic and built human replicators out of replicator blocks that were more advanced mechanically than what they've previously done. But now they're just another human. They're just another Goa'uld.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the thing. We have humanoid adversaries, but at least there is some. It's not precedence because Rhys wasn't a an android, but the fact that their maker was humanoid, it wasn't like it is just strictly a budgetary thing. Like it probably is.
I think that's why it gives credence.
Here's an interesting point, though, is they say, we didn't model ourselves, because when they're talking to them, we didn't model ourselves after humans, we modeled ourselves after our creator, Rhys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of white folk there, considering Rhys is their person.
Yeah, she was Asian.
And she was a woman.
It's kind of funny, actually.
So, like, I know there is a lot of like male, but the fact that the first of the first,
first.
was a man. I like how they're like, oh yeah, girl, boy, girl.
You know
boy,
what would have
see
been
she's going for
epic if she walks out? If she was first.
Right?
yes.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
that
would've been
now,
great.
And now instead of an android,
Yeah.
she is like
Yeah.
a liquid metal Terminator.
Yeah.
How
that
boss
would
would
have
that
been
have?
sick.
King Cooper.
Yeah. It's like because using her code somehow transferred like some of her consciousness into the replicators.
Yeah.
How fucking awesome would that have
Yeah.
been? That would have been sick.
For me,
I just got 10
this is top 3 of the season. For me, I love it. You got the Asgard, the new Prometheus doing tugging along, and
Yeah.
the replicators aren't
tugging
interested.
along, mate.
You got a replicated planet, the whole surface of the planet. You got time dilation. You got betrayal. I mean, what else do you want?
It's good. It's good. I'm just the human form replicators aren't.
I think I was let down too much when they come out as humans. I'm like, what? How are they humans? There's no humans on that planet. I'm like, they can't be the replicators. How did they replicate skin? Like, to me, it was just too
It's
far
not skin,
fetched.
mate.
No, I know, but like, how did they put their hand in O'Neill's head then?
Nanites.
Well, you can't go through his skin, can you? Like,
Well,
that's
the
what I
bullets
mean.
went through them.
Yeah, in his paws.
Yeah, through his paws,
Yeah,
mate.
I don't either.
Can't
I
get
don't-
through his skull, mate.
I don't buy the
It's
hand-
sci-fi. You can't throw that away. Jesus Christ.
I'll remember that fucking argument.
Yeah.
It's sci-fi.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And how come none of
All your arguments about the gate, all your arguments
Yeah.
now are invalid because
Yeah.
it's sci-fi.
Yeah.
How come?
You got to go
It's
with
like
it.
saying it's in the script.
No, what I'm saying is you go with it.
How come?
You
how
don't go,
come,
that's far-fetched.
How
No,
come the
it's shit.
bugs? How come the bugs? Their color is determined by whatever they eat. So it's like when we meet the Asgard bugs, they're purple. When they're on Earth, when they've been eating a submarine, they're silver. Now they can just turn themselves skin tone
Mate,
color.
they've been there for thousands of years. Like
Yeah.
they just learned to the color palette.
But the bugs are still silver. Why aren't the bugs flesh colored?
Maybe
it's a hierarchy thing, mate. They're the rich, the bugs are the poor.
And why do they need shoes or
they-
clothes?
They ate the white people.
Yeah.
What I wanted to know mainly was, did they replicate a penis?
Well, if you're gonna hire,
Well, how do they know? Yeah.
if you're gonna hire Tamo Pennicat, they definitely created a penis because he is an Adonis of a man. He's the guy that played Third. He plays,
Oh, yeah, what's he in?
He plays Halo from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, I've seen, is he in another episode of Stargate, though? I feel like I've seen him a lot somewhere.
No. Yeah, he's one of the main characters in Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
On Battlestar
No,
Galactica, he's hooking up with Satterfield. Remember Satterfield from
Oh, yeah.
the team that you guys hate?
Yep.
The Asian chick that was on
SG,
Hawaii
no
Five-O?
thanks.
Team Grogan.
Yeah.
SG Grogan.
He and Satterfield get together on Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. No, he's definitely he looks familiar to me as well. So he must. I haven't seen
He's in a heap of
Battlestar.
shit. I didn't go to his
He's a
IMDb.
great actor. It's funny too because it's like he's in this as just a background actor, not really doing much, and then Fifth is kind of prominent, and then Tamo gets Battlestar Galactica, and then Fifth, who you don't really see much do much other work, is like a background actor in like 2 episodes of Battlestar Galactica. And I'm like, that's enough.
What's Third's name?
Just Third. Oh,
In
the
real
actor,
life? Yeah.
Tamo Pennicat. He's a Kiwi.
Damo.
Yeah. And then
Oh, he wasn't in Lord of the Rings or anything.
No. He was in Dollhouse, but you guys probably wouldn't have seen that. That's another Joss Whedon show.
No, we don't like Joss. Try to avoid it. All.
That's one. The chick who played second was actually the waitress from Upgrades, the one that they ordered the steaks from. You know, in Upgrades when they go to the bar, we'll order three steak, 3 baked potatoes, blah blah.
Jesus.
No, that was for me. Well, that
Who you
waitress,
call a nerd?
that waitress is second in this episode.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like I think all the sci-fi type stuff at the start was really sick. Like the idea that they've got a time dilation like bubble,
Oh,
and they're
so
sending out a
good.
signal. All the replicators and
Yeah.
like moths to a light, just like getting sucked in this time dilation bubble where they'll just be slowed down for the rest of time. I'm like, that's sick. And then by the time they get there, it's like the replicators went, yeah, no, we reversed this shit.
Yeah.
We've been advancing ourselves to the point where, like, are they planning to, like, would they envision that they would be able to live on for thousands of years, or that they're just like, you know what, we're just going to do our bit for our race so that one day in 1,000 of our years, they'll go out when it's been like 18 minutes in real space, and they'll be able to take over the Asgard right away.
Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of left quite vague for me. Like, I don't, like, were they going to build a ship and go and destroy the Asgard? That didn't seem to be part of their plan. They were just more focused on
They're just going to go forth, he
putting
said. and
putting
just-
their hand
the
in
universe.
Yeah, but
SG-1's
when?
heads.
Like-
and how?
Yeah.
I think it was, if SG-1 didn't land, it was going to be in 10 minutes.
Oh,
They were just going
you just pulled that
They
out.
were going to go. They're like, what are these guys doing
I
here?
thought you were about to drop the truth on there, but
This would be interesting.
Let's just wait till they knock on the door and see what they want.
But yeah, they rocked up, and this is the spawn of the episode, which was nice.
And we're introduced to a
Sci-fi,
new-
just go with it.
Well, and apparently I think one of the elements they hide behind with the new Human-Replicators is they need neutronium to be able to become
God, yeah.
human form, blah, blah, blah. So I did find on the Stargate wiki, neutronium is made when electron shells of atoms are collapsed and all matter becomes one giant nucleus of neutrons. A piece of neutronium the size of a double cheeseburger, jump onto conversion.com and just check this one for me,
God,
Brendan.
yeah.
Well, some cheeseburgers are bigger than others.
Right.
250 grams.
A piece the size of a double cheeseburger would weigh about as much as New York, the state, not the city.
Oh, geez.
Or a pounder.
So
Half a quarter pounder.
half a quarter pounder.
half a quarter pounder. No, a pounder would be 4 quarter pounders.
No, but the cheeseburger's half a quarter pounder.
Yeah, but if it's a single
Yeah,
cheeseburger, it's a quarter of a half a quarter pounder.
Yeah.
Empirical measurement joke.
It's a double cheeseburger.
That's all. Yeah.
And then where do you stop measuring New York? It's like, are you just measuring the buildings or are you measuring the ground underneath? How far down do you measure the ground? It's a lot
Yeah,
of
do you go to the
questions.
subway or
Yeah.
Yeah, do you add everything in?
Right? And the people?
if you're in Futurama, is it you're adding New York and New York?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's always a
Old
question.
New York.
Yeah. So there's no cheeseburger measurement on conversion.com?
Cheeseburger ready.
Look,
It's like I weigh 42 cheeseburgers. Like, is that, can that be a thing?
probably. I
Yeah.
can look it up.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
I'll tell you by the end of the show.
Yeah,
Great
nice.
people.
Kilograms to
Wanna jump on-
cheeseburgers.
Jump on board.
So at the start, Thor brings them back to Earth in an instant.
God, that kind of irked me.
Beams up everything that they need, and then he's like, okay, let's start the episode now.
Yeah.
Over to there.
It was like a
Yeah.
cutscene from like a video game. It's like, here's all
Yeah.
the stuff you need for
Yeah,
this
yeah.
mission. Bang, 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 bang. Let's go.
It's basically like the to be continued. Oh, what's going to happen? But then it's just a really quick way to wrap up the last episode, but then really
Yeah.
quickly get into this episode.
We're back home. I've beamed up everything you need. We've beamed
Yeah.
down the reporter and those other guys into the cafeteria,
Yeah.
but we've beamed down the bad guys into the brig because somehow Thor knew which ones were which.
Yeah. And we never see
We've
them
done
again.
everything you need, except we don't know that ice cream needs refrigeration.
Yeah. Why not just bring the freezer that they were in?
Right? Although, to get that scene where Teal'c was eating ice cream, though, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that
I
was great.
all about that.
And didn't Thor just beam in the yellow ones? So couldn't he beam, like, they have, like, replicators, Star Trek replicators in the future. They can just replicate anything. Wouldn't they just be able to make food for him?
Maybe they didn't want to take one out of their ship and put it into Prometheus. They're like, oh, we'll just beam up food.
Yeah, but I mean, create it and beam the food in. Anyway, too many loopholes for me.
Yeah, what?
Mate, it's sci-fi. Just go with it.
Let's not
I mean,
talk.
you wouldn't get that great scene with Teal'c stealing ice cream.
Yeah. I've been wanting to send that meme in our group chat for years, and it's like, no, I'm not going to spoil that for Rhys. That's one of the few things I'm not going to spoil for Rhys. I'm going to let him see Teal'c, like, bogarting the ice cream off O'Neill.
That's great. He's like, don't f***ing touch my ice cream, mate. You know, when Jonas was talking in that instance, I was not listening to a word he was saying.
Yeah.
So I was just watching Teal'c
I was
and
trying to
O'Neill.
figure out what flavour Teal'c was palming off. He's like, you can have half my chunky monkey, and I'm going to have this new tub of whatever it is. Yeah, I thought that was great. And then another moment where O'Neill's just like, oh, I knew the other shoe was going to drop, and Thor's like, oh, hopefully that will be the last footwear to fall. I was like, a season ago, that would have been a Teal'c joke.
Yeah.
But now they're like acclimating him, so it's like, no, that's a Thor joke.
I just love like the Asgard, the Dead Set giving SG-1 like Mission Impossible in this episode. The way it starts up, like right at the start, they're like, you need to go and do this, and then do this and do that. It's like when he's like, you've got to go into this time dilation. You've got to take on an enemy that we've never been able to beat. You've got to do this in this amount of time.
Yeah.
And just looking at death stares into like O'Neill's eyes, and then I just imagine the fucking like Mission Impossible music. Just like, dun, 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 dun. Like that just sounds like the worst offer, like the pitch. He's like, "Here, we'll take you back to Earth in like 3 seconds. We've just got all the guns and food you'll need. Hey, we're already leaving. I haven't said yes yet. No, but you will.
Yeah. You've got no choice.
You're 3 foot of rubber. Shut the
And
up.
what you can't see is there's a little tiny piece of rope coming out of his chair, out of Thor's chair, that's set alight on one end, and it's just the fuse just getting closer.
Yeah, because O'Neill's like pretty much saying, "Why should we do this?" And he's like, Thor's like, "No, they'll probably come to Earth maybe one day, sort of."
Yeah, it's like Thor.
yeah.
Have we actually gotten our like things you owe us yet? Like you already owe us like 5 times over.
Yeah, totally.
And every time we ask you for help, you're like, "Nah, sorry, can't do it."
Sorry, gold.
Or you just don't pick up the phone. And it's like, now you want another favor? It's like, come on,
Yeah,
man. Come
it's
on.
like, how about you? Okay, you give us your ship, and you can have the Prometheus. That sounds.
Although Thor did upgrade their ship, right? Like straight away.
Something to do with the shields. Yeah, he's maxed out their shields or something like
We've sorted pretty much everything out for you. Not too much that you can, learn from it, but it'll do you till you get in there.
Are you satisfied now, Rhys, that you've seen Jonas getting some training? Just that little bit of just...
Yeah, I was so happy with that.
again.
I really was. And then, I love the fact that he's like, "I've got blisters." I'm like, that is epic. O'Neill's didn't just say, "Look, stand there and reload it. Keep doing it. I'll be back soon." He's just like standing there staring at him. Do it.
Do it again.
Do it.
Faster.
Do it.
Again.
I got blisters. Shut up and do it again.
Shut up. Yeah. That was epic.
One thing that really got me, and it got me last week, but I wanted to save it because I did watch these back to back. I wanted to save it for this week. Is the poor like acting against nothing? Like last week, right at the end when Thor showed up, and just the way that Richard Dean Anderson was playing it. Thor, buddy, wow, you look great. I know he's always going to be talking to a puppet, but it's almost like he wasn't even talking to someone doing the voice.
Yeah.
Like he was just having to deliver on a voice track that was going to be delivered later. Like the director wasn't even giving Thor's lines to him. He just had to act his lines in the script, and it was really awkward. And then this week,
I found that to be like, because this is the first time, well, he didn't know that Thor was out of the coma, right?
No,
No,
they knew
okay.
that he went for the new body, I think.
but they hadn't interacted
Right.
with him, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a bit of surprise,
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't
But then
know.
this week, it was probably the reverse, where you had O'Neill was the subject being spoken to when they're realising back at the SGC that their guns and their food have just disappeared, and Hammond saying to Walter, "You sure the gate hasn't been on?" He's like, "Pretty sure I would have realised."
Bitch, you
right
can
in
see
front
it.
of me.
You can see it from
gate
here.
guy.
It's literally my only job, is to make sure that thing goes on and off or doesn't go on when it's supposed
Hammond,
to.
when you're looking at Walter, the gate's in the background. You can see that it's
But then,
not been
like,
on.
Walter, is the gate on? It's f***ing right there,
Yeah.
mate. Have a look.
My head's not big enough that I'm blocking out the whole thing.
Did you hear the alarm go off?
Did I say incoming traveller? No, it's
The
f***ing
fucking
closed.
PA
Unauthorised
system
wormhole.
right here.
But then you had like Jack hologram in, and then Hammond be like, "Hey, Jack,
Jack.
great to see that you survived. I hope you're going okay." And I'm like, wouldn't he be in the room? Like, he's having to act there anyway. It's not like
Nah.
they would have just like filmed him and just been like a bit of, like put a bit of filter over him. Like, I don't know. It just seemed again he was acting against no one speaking Jack's lines, and it just felt really out of place.
Yeah, I did feel that disconnect with Thor. Because it was like a couple of seconds before Thor would say his line and then vice versa.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
maybe
that was
maybe it's not
really
even the
weird.
performance. Maybe it's just all in the edit or
Maybe it's
something.
the
I don't know.
chair. Maybe the chair makes the difference.
Wait, that's what I thought.
Looks
He's
comfortable.
beamed himself in, but he's brought his chair with him, so he doesn't have to stand up. He's like, "All right, I'm out." Beams him and
I
his
think
chair
they
back
kind
out.
of just go, yeah, he looks weird standing.
Yeah. Not the weirdest line delivery, though. The weirdest line delivery for me was when they land the Prometheus on the planet and Jonas is there counting down 150 meters, 100 meters.
50 meters.
Touchdown! So weird.
Like someone just scored a f***ing touchdown.
Yeah, it's like,
In
mate,
NFL.
we felt the fucking ship hit the ground. We know we've touched down. Like,
What I find weird
Yeah,
is
what was that? Oh, we touched down.
how
Oh, okay.
slow were they? Obviously, the Americans aren't aware of the metric system because 50
No.
meters is not that far, especially when you're in a plane or
No, we
an
must-
aircraft.
we
that
must have been
big.
at a hover by that
Yeah.
point, and it was
Yeah.
just slow.
Yeah.
Like would have been an elevator. Just like an elevator travels faster than that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know why they were like, whoa, that was epic. Because you're going really slow. 10 meters.
Yeah. Well,
5 meters.
I think they were trying to play out the fact that, it's supposed to be manned by like 100 people or whatever, and there's just the 4 of them,
Right.
and they've landed it on an alien planet.
No, yeah, I
But,
got
yeah,
that. I just thought the whole distance thing was weird.
The way Jonas was saying it made it seem like the distance was the big deal, not the fact that they just landed on their first alien planet in their brand new spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
was
massive
very odd.
first, yeah.
On a purely flat replicator surface, which was good.
Yeah.
I did love how much of a smart ass.
Didn't
Jack was.
Tilk's job in that landing part was no sign of replicators. The floor's made of them, mate.
Yeah. And then
He was too busy
These
jumping
scan-
up, turning off that steam valve, though.
yeah.
Because
I don't want that steam in my face.
apparently the Prometheus is powered by coal, so they just had to turn the steam off.
I'm like sitting there thinking Tilk's like manning this piece of equipment that's tracking him. He's just like looking out the window. No sign of him.
Can't see anything.
Can't see
No
anything. I
movement.
think we're clear.
What? Our scanner is it can't penetrate dust?
A thin layer of dust that we can brush away with one of Daniel's brushes.
Why was it storming around the whole planet though?
I'm assuming it's...
Electromagnetic storm, maybe?
Yeah, maybe it's
Didn't
just
work.
because the entire planet was covered in replicator blocks. Maybe it just f- the ecosystem. It was like a nuclear winter, but we could still breathe out there. Okay, so I don't know. Where was the oxygen coming from?
Ah, totally.
Yeah,
You know, we can breathe and they automatically speak English. It's just, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a show.
Well, let's talk about it. Fifth, another creepy guy obsessed with Carter.
Yes. And like this is where I will side with Rhys a little bit from the start about, well, it's not skin or whatever. I'm like, I can deal with all of that.
Yeah.
But like, what robot, what advanced robot made him have such sexy sort of just out of bed in the morning, curly, wavy
Oh,
hair
mate,
like
that was
I'm
soul
like,
blow. That was full blown soul
Does he
blow.
pick
just,
that?
just
Mate,
soul
if you
Like, at least
if you could
first, like a
design yourself.
He had like a military haircut. First had a military haircut.
Yeah,
he was a
flat top.
boss, right?
He
Then-
was Colonel Haircut,
Yeah.
basically.
I mean, even the women, you're like, why would you have long hair or even like have you got it up in a bob or something? I don't know. But why did that guy have like a cool boy next door sort of look going on?
yeah,
you know,
and the fashion. Why choose that fashion? Why not dress like Rhys was
Can't you
dressed?
tell we're
Or-
replicators? We're
Yeah.
wearing shirts with like
Blocks.
alfoil on them
Yeah.
in the shape of
They're,
squares.
they're like replicators and shit. Yeah, it was cool. Fifth
Yeah.
designed it. It's pretty gay. But anyway.
This represents our foundation.
And it's
We're
like
not
our-
fans of it, but it's all we've got at the moment.
And at the same time, we're nostalgic. So
Our building is made out of stuff, but then our furniture is made out of replicator blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's our clothes made out of?
Us.
Nanites? Everything you see is nanites.
Tronium.
And how do they
Yeah.
understand food? Like when they said, oh, we've already brought your food onto the ship. Would you come and join us? I like the line, when's dinner? Whenever you get hungry. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's
that's
kind of
weird.
true. But when they walked in, they've got food all sort of set out properly. I'm like, you wouldn't know what's what.
Well,
Would
to
you,
be
or-
fair, there was just like a whole watermelon just sitting on the table.
That's true,
so
yeah.
Next to a ice cream and a bottle of water.
I would have loved the idea that they've just like found like a bottle of water and just like poured it on the table, going, you guys will drink that up, won't you? You know,
How does this work?
That would have been good.
yeah, that was weird.
There was a one-track shot when Carter. Well, they were in the what do you call it? Navigation room. All right, so they're in the bridge, and then Carter goes down to the engine room, and then like 3 seconds later, Jonas and O'Neill walk out, go down the elevator, and then go into that door.
Yeah.
One-track shot, and all of a sudden she's there, had a full conversation with this fifth guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did she get down there so quick? The elevator was already back up the top when they got there. She went literally 3 seconds before them.
She went down the hole that she cut out with a blowtorch.
At that point, I'm like, because she was so close, or they were so close behind her. At that point, I'm like, that's not the real Carter. That's a replicator.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they've just walked in on them having a conversation, and she's gone, everything's okay.
Right.
He's brought us here to be more comfortable.
You
And
could
I'm
say
like,
it's
that is sus.
You could say it's a replicata.
Don't give him too many applause.
That's not mine. That's definitely not mine. Speaking of all that too, with Fifth and stuff, do we feel? I guess in the long run, Jack did make the right decision, like at the end, to fuck over Fifth.
Yeah.
But
Oh, man.
But
absolutely.
Jack had no way to know that Fifth would never make it, though. Like, so for SG-1, it worked out the best for them because Fifth never would have made it because the First and all those others captured him.
Yeah.
But it's like, if that hadn't have happened, Fifth could have been a really good ally for us. He could have potentially...
That's true.
Nah. He was like Rhys. And this is because I was watching it with my missus, and
They fixed what was wrong with Rhys.
No,
What's wrong with you, mate?
he
They
said
fixed it.
they tried. He said they tried and they didn't.
Yeah, that's why he was weak. We said we fixed that,
but
and we won't make that.
we thought
mistake
Rhys
again.
was weak until she got angry.
No, but he's saying
If you got-
there is a flaw in Rhys, which they discovered when first was born, and then they just try to take that out with Fifth. So Fifth is the way that Rhys was meant to be designed, to be fairly stable.
No, but he said they tried to take it out, but they failed. That's why he's so weak.
No, but it was a failure in his eyes.
Yeah, I always saw that as a failure from the other replicators. They're like
it's a fail that failed because he's shit.
because
Why would you want
he
that?
he was too human. They were like, oh,
Right.
you're gross, you're human, you're not enough
Yeah.
replicator.
Okay.
Even though their replicator's trying to be human, they're
I
like,
see.
oh, you're too human.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a bit. I guess I don't want to give anything away on what we may or may not see of human form replicators going forward. So it might be a conversation for another time. But
yeah, I totally agreed with Jack. You can't even take the risk. Oh, but I felt sorry for him. Yeah, but this is the mission, and our whole point is to capture the replicators here. Like, she built one replicator, and all this stemmed from that. So you're going to take a replicator, and it's such an advanced replicator off that planet to take with you and go, hey, look what we've got.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you've met him for 5 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
you can't destroy him if you want to.
I would say, yeah, Fifth is much more dangerous than Rhys if we lost control.
Yeah, big time.
Like, he could do a lot more damage than little Rhys could do because he's made out of the nanites and can all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, I kind of felt sorry for him because he did seem to be genuine that he
Oh,
wanted
absolutely,
to help
yeah. He helped him, but then what's to say that he wasn't the next destroyer of worlds? I need your help to get off this planet, but as soon as I'm off, use a...
But I mean, we never got into Rhys's mind, whereas we were literally inside Fifth's mind, and he was kind of hiding it from the others. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's just what he's telling us. Like I said, he could be just being a lone ranger, and just
Yeah.
his ultimate. He just needed to get away from the others, and if they were trapped on that world, then he could be like the Goa'uld. If they could go out on their own, maybe that's all he wanted.
yeah, fair point.
You never know.
I guess, yeah, I think from Jack's point of view, it's at the end of the day, doesn't matter what he looks like, he's still a replicator. There's
Yeah.
still that innate sort of underlying quality of
Yeah.
go forth, spread, conquer.
And that's
kind of
totally
got-
Jack. It doesn't matter if he's a Toker, he's still a Goa'uld.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, good point.
I don't know. It's kind of touching. Yeah, you feel bad for Fifth, and you can understand why Jonas and Carter feel that way. But you're like, yeah, but he's still a replicator.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard because the end
And
of
he
the
was
day,
the only way out,
Yeah,
of that situation.
Yeah, short of an alternate timeline, there's no way we're going to know. Like, if Fifth had gotten away and came with us, what would have happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it might be a conversation.
I mean,
that-
it could have been good. They could have fixed him.
Yeah, definitely. I guess, and there's also the whole thing about, if he's in control of all the replicators and they're all on that planet, well, he's not going to be corrupted by the power if they're all destroyed, but then he might just make more. So, yeah, so
Yeah.
it might be a conversation we'll continue, the next time we encounter some human form replicators.
I guess they could have, if they found a way to shut him down. I mean, it's going to obviously he's a couple of 100 years more advanced than Rhys, but if they found a way to shut him down, then give him to the Asgard and go, try that without replicators all over the universe that are coming in and trying to attack you. Put all your resources on that. How do you stop them? I suppose they'll have enough time, but
So
Yeah,
again,
I guess because of the time dilation field, I guess they felt it wasn't
really
important enough.
Yeah.
Like Jack felt, okay, well, I think he had more faith in the time dilation device than he did in Fifth helping them.
Yeah.
But having said that, I mean, when they got there, the replicators had already f***ed with the time dilation device for their benefit.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's weird that Jack put a lot of put a lot of weight into that. So,
In what way?
well, I think Jack felt like the time dilation device was going to stop the replicator, was going to hold them on that planet for as long as they needed to, and
Yeah.
he put more faith in that than bringing Fifth with them.
Yeah.
So he was quite fine
He
with
was,
betraying Fifth.
trusting the Asgard more than trusting Fifth.
However,
Yeah.
at the start of the episode when we get there, because they've already been stuck in a time dilation device, but then we find out that they've managed to f with it and turn it the other way around.
Reverse it, yeah.
And that's how we got human form replicators, is because they f with the time dilation device already.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing for Jack to kind of forget that, when it's like, well, if they f with it once,
Yeah, that's true.
they could quite easily f with it again and spend another million years.
It just might take a couple of 100 years to walk to the device and put your hand in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be. And I found it quite interesting, actually, when First goes, so they found the android, like, basically the Asgard left the planet, they set the device as it was just about to go off. The replicators found
Got into
Rhys,
it,
and then created First, and within those kind of last seconds, he stopped the device. That's the way I thought about it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's quick.
they made that quick.
Yeah.
Even though it was like we put in quite an amount of detail for error.
Although that was their last ditch effort, right? So the Asgard, so their technology would have advanced so quick that they would have been able to make something that quick, right?
Was it First himself that actually closed the device, or was it just a
Yeah, because he was saying that the bugs couldn't access through the trinium alloy or whatever the hell they made it out of. And but because he can put his hand through things, he was able to get through it. From what that's kind of what I understood. Took out of it.
I thought
anyway.
it might have been
As the nanites.
the bugs were managed to stop it, and then spent however many thousands of years they were once they swapped it around, making all the
they created
human
him
forms.
before it went off.
There's not a lot of human form replicators if you think about it, over however many thousands of years they were developing there.
I think Carter said it was a couple of hundred.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a
But to
couple of
only
years, but still, I think they were trying to get the flaws out or whatever.
Yeah, but
And
to only
then-
just pop out their sixth,
Yeah,
like when we
Yeah.
get there, it's like
maybe it had to do with the nanoquadria.
the
whatever
the neutronium
neutronium
maybe
things.
That must have been,
Nintendo's
so obviously that's why they hadn't built a ship and got out of there, is because they were still trying to
grow their fleet.
master it. Yeah, grow an army.
Yeah,
I guess, but I mean, they still had the finite resources of that one planet, so
yeah.
by the time they've managed to put blocks all the way around the entire planet, surely they've
that's true.
they've gotten all the neutronium, so they know how many human forms they can make. It's interesting, but it does go in a weird way, and I think Atlantis does ruin the replicators a little bit.
I think they're already ruined. They're rubbish.
Yeah.
They're a Cooper creation.
Well, actually,
So if you
the human form was actually a Brad Wright idea, I believe.
no, wasn't it Andy Makita? Didn't he, or someone wrote that?
Well, no, Brad Wright wrote this episode.
Yeah, it was Cooper and Brad Wright have the story credit, but I'm talking about from Menace. Whoever wrote Menace, I thought it was Andy Makita or someone like that. And Cooper, that's why I said Cooper runs with the idea, but he retcons it in terms of Rhys. Because you like the idea of the android creating
it and it being a big mistake, which is exactly what Jonas said. Like he's like, don't you find that interesting? Like this whole thing, and he went through the whole process. I'm like,
Menace-
that's exactly what I think. Like,
Menace was Peter DeLuise and James Titchener.
Titchener, that's it.
Yeah.
Because we discussed that Cooper was pissed off that Titchener took the idea of the replicators and ran with it. I just found it funny how as soon as they got to the replicator planet, Carter knew exactly where the time dilation device was. Like she walked in there and bang, found it. Didn't look on the left, found it immediately on the right.
well, there was one room, and there's one.
There's one building on the entire planet with one room in the entire building, and it's smack bang in the fucking middle with a big
But
yellow
what I'm
light on
saying
it.
is,
One
it's
drill.
like a square kind of dropping, and then so she didn't look anywhere on that square. She found it right where it was.
Well,
There was a sign that said, here.
well, she said
Time dilation device.
she said earlier on that
Sixth is dumbass.
she said earlier on that Thor made her a timer out of like their material. So surely he gave her like a fucking diagram of what the time dilation
hope
device
so.
looks like.
Yeah, surely.
Surely.
But she said that the replicators completely changed it.
Yeah, but it's sci-fi. You just got to go with
Just
it.
gotta go with it.
I can go with hands through the head, but she knowing exactly where it is, no. She's not. She's brilliant. She's not that brilliant. I forgot what it was about.
It's just sci-fi, mate. You just gotta go with it.
I found, especially last week's episode in Prometheus and this kind of a doubleheader, Amanda Tapping's eyebrows are wonderful.
Are they?
Have you ever noticed that? She
No.
must have had a nice little wax going
Oh.
in this episode.
Could pluck them.
If you can see
no.
my eyebrows, I'm
Could use
not
sharp rocks.
on a slingshot.
Slingshot them off.
Slingshot some rocks at her. Wowzers.
She looks a good aim.
Do you know what I found quite interesting is we find out Hammond's speed dial 1 is his granddaughter's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good little
Wait for it.
add in.
His granddaughters. Not his kid who had those kids, just straight to the grandkids. He's like, my actual offspring, I want my offspring's offspring.
kinda funny.
On my
Doesn't even
speed
mention
dial.
Granddaughter?
my daughter.
Really? Yeah. It's like, not my daughter, my son, no, my, what? Not my grandkids.
That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, that's good.
I never really
bitch.
noticed that, but because he always talks about his granddaughters.
Yeah, he
I'm
talks
like,
about his granddaughters
yeah,
all the time.
Granddaughters, what? They got mobiles.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 then.
And didn't he used to have 2 phones? Didn't he have like a normal phone and then like a Batman red phone to the
Yeah.
president?
Yeah.
So,
And it was like, a hot dial. Pick up the phone, it automatically rings the president.
yeah. And
But I
now
think it was Jack was saying it in jest.
but then doesn't he pick it up in this episode and like call the president? He's like, I'm holding for the
I
president.
think that was last week
Oh, was it?
when they asked the
Yeah, but
journalists.
he's back on the black phone. He's back on the black phone going,
Yeah.
"Why got me
Oh
back?"
yeah.
Hey,
For
I
sure.
missed the red Batman phone with like no dials on it. It's just
Yes.
that, yeah.
Give it the
It's
president.
just that.
Do you know what colour this phone is, honey?
I wouldn't have added the honey. That's a bit.
Why not?
Oh, it's just a bit misogynistic, mate.
honey.
I don't think so.
Not if she's
I
a
call
honey.
my wife honey.
Yeah, she's your wife.
So
Do you call female co-workers honey?
no,
Yeah, see.
Darling? I
But-
call everyone darling.
but you know, he's from Texas and he's old school, so he's like honey.
I when
Give me some of that
when like
sweet honey.
when like
Old
chicks,
school Texas.
I when
Bitch.
chicks working at like a carvery takeaway call you darling. Like, can I get a roast pork sandwich and not be called darling? That'd be like,
You want chicken salt, darling?
yeah. Can you just?
That's part of your order.
Sure thing, sweetie.
Little tip that I learnt this many
I get a
years
roast
ago.
beef sandwich and hold the darling. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Don't call me darling.
Yeah. Little tip: if you do get yourself a roast pork sandwich and they ask you for applesauce or gravy,
Gravy.
get both.
Oh god.
Why
Game,
not?
game changer. Absolute
Didn't
game
even
changer.
think about it.
Yeah.
Apple gravy.
Yeah.
Actually, make that your answer to all life's questions.
why not both?
Why not both?
Why not
Hey,
both?
ask me what my sexual
Yeah.
orientation is
That's
again.
it. Why not both?
But, excuse me, mate. There's more than 2. Thanks,
Yeah.
Harpich.
Don't assume.
I didn't say genders. I said sexual orientation.
Don't assume there's more than 2 genders.
Don't assume that there is.
No.
Yeah, don't assume
or
that
don't
there is,
assume
'cause
there's not.
No.
There's definitely just 2.
Yeah.
There's definitely
definitely
just 2.
two.
There's definitely
Yeah.
2.
Penis or vagina?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Penis
No.
and vagina.
Penis, then vagina.
Trans means between. I'm happy for a third gender. But I draw the line there.
We could go on forever.
We could, and we usually do. But we got to get out of here. So,
Yeah, it's time for the Get Into Geek Hairy Mailbag.
weekly.
Jaybird25 writes in, JJ, I think she's changed her name on Twitter. It was Janie, wasn't it?
Oh, that was
Yeah.
Janie, yeah.
Janie,
Janie's got a gun because she's never heard that before.
she tweets and says, thank you at the Bren Gibson for being one of the only people to ever pronounce my whole name completely right.
Oh, you're welcome.
I lost it when I
done.
heard it on the hairy mailbag. Thanks,
Roger.
boys.
Hairy
At
mailbag.
Get Into Gate.
You're welcome, JJ.
Well done.
I mean, obviously, Janie's got a couple of DMs that were inappropriate. She's changed the name to JJ.
yeah.
It wasn't from me. Don't look at me like that, Rhys.
Come on, Jaybird.
she did follow it up with an email to us.
Because people pronounce her name wrong. I
yeah.
stalked her Twitter a little bit.
Yeah, she gets a lot. She gets Jason.
When I
and
say
things
that,
like
I mean I followed her back and looked
Yeah,
at her
we
pinned
clicked.
tweet.
Like, all you have to do is click on her picture and it's going to bring up her Twitter feed, so that's fine. She did follow it up with a quick, well, not a quick email, but a fairly substantial email that I'll try and get through quite quickly. Hello, boys. I've been a long time... Don't assume we're boys. Sorry. Previous conversation. Sorry.
Pause of effort.
Yeah, I added that bit.
We're men.
Manly men. We're
Not
men
me.
in tights. Yes.
Sometimes.
Sorry, I watched Robin Hood last night.
Men.
Oh, God, not that. I've been a long time...
Manly man.
God, I hate that show. Okay, I'll try and get through this quickly. I've been a long time fan of Stargate and we're almost the same age. I'm 25. So I really did grow up on the show. I recently was going through my annual rewatch and decided to go and look for a Stargate podcast again. There are a few that I've tried to follow, but typically I couldn't get past the second episode. I first listened to Get Into Gate episode Window of Opportunity because it's my favourite.
Great choice.
Let me tell you. She put all that in capitals. Just adding a bit of theatre to it.
Nice.
I binged the entire podcast in about 3.5 weeks after that.
Solid, Jaybird.
Well done, Janie. You got Janie is a gun. See what I did
Oh.
there? You guys always
Don't presume.
sorry.
Don't presume. She's a gun.
Don't assume what weapon she is, mate.
No, she's a gun. She's a.
Spaz
You know when
12.
you say someone's really good at something? She's a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's a gun at the same.
Yeah, maybe she's a slingshot. We don't know.
Could be a bow and arrow.
She's a slingshot
be.
full of rocks. Okay, fair enough. You guys always say that the viewer of Stargate is like the fifth member of the team, but I certainly feel like the fifth member of the Get Into Gate team.
Oh, you are,
Absolutely,
JJ.
you are.
Oh, you might want to hold off on there just because of the next part she says.
Right.
I absolutely
Did you say kick Rhys off?
no. There's some stuff here you're not going
I'd
to like.
love her even more.
No, there's some stuff here you're not going to like. I absolutely adore the show. I constantly crack up at work because y'all are so freaking hilarious. I also love Star Trek. Sorry, boys, that's one.
Sure is.
Gilmore Girls and Buffy. But Lord, do I love how you give Maddie a hard time. Shit, I was on your side there.
You're welcome.
The banter between the Gibson brothers, Rhys losing his mind over Daniel ascending and then getting over it pretty damn quickly. Everyone talking over Maddie with tangents. I'm glad someone noticed that.
Oh, how about someone notice Maddie talking over everyone? Jesus.
Mitch getting freaked out when Around the World was played recently. Several minutes of audio playing / getting cut because you're laughing so much. Maddie's box of shame and low-pitched Maddie segments are just classic. The humour is unplanned but so great. Love that you guys bring out the illustrated edition in the episodes, use audio commentary and connect it with other SG series as well. The show is a great mix of friends having a good time and true fans and analysing the episodes. Even after all this time, you boys find new segments to add to the show. I can't say it enough. This podcast is absolutely the best.
Oh,
Thanks for all you do.
wow.
Your friend
Jaybird.
here in the US, Jaybird.
Sensational.
Wow.
Look, you can write in any time you want, Jaybird, with that kind of gear.
Just less than that though, because
Absolutely.
I'm wrecked now. Whew.
Sensational.
Lost. Well done. Thank you,
Thanks,
Janie.
JJ.
Well done.
Got a tweet here from Larry Sean Vitoti.
Sure.
Vitito. Vitito?
Vitito. Larry Vitito.
You and I know.
Totes.
Sean
McGoats. At Get Into
The
Gate.
toe.
Hashtag
Just
Get
the
Into
toe.
Gate.
Is
Hashtag Get Into Gate podcast.
One of our patrons.
Absolutely.
That's the
Hashtag
Brendan.
greatest podcast ever. Hashtag head gate technician. Hashtag long live Walter.
Oh,
You know what?
absolutely.
I love
Big
a
Lasdog.
tweet when it's
Vitito.
just hashtags. That's great. I think that's
Yeah,
brilliant.
but he's tagged us first.
Yeah,
Which
but
is
just
one
to
of the great.
have too many hashtags and no actual tweet, I think is kind of just like
Mate, hashtag say it all.
yeah, just tips the format on its head. I love it.
God, yeah.
Sensational.
Also on Twitter, always angry Steve. That's just his name, not even his handle. I love it. It's crazy listening.
Obviously
to
American.
Yeah, it's crazy listening to Get Into Gate from the start and going through the Origins tracks. At one point in time, I was so excited like they were and thinking of all the possibilities that could be, and bam, here's a shit sandwich. Glad to hear them hate it as much as me.
Yeah.
On you, Steve. I think, yeah. I think Steve changed his Twitter handle to Always Angry Steve after he saw Origins, obviously.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
From now on, he's angry.
Always angry.
I mean, we share something right there, Steve. Origins, angry about it.
Boom. I got an email here from Santos Gonzalez.
He loves around the
Hey guys, greetings from Utah. I'm a longtime fan of the show and love you guys more than most of my own family.
Utah what?
Utah Saints. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, good.
It is now.
I think that's more about how shitty my family is than anything else. The main reason I'm
Don't be modest. We're awesome.
The main reason I'm writing in is something that has been irritating me since the Frozen episode premiered, and thanks to your show, I can finally discuss this personal issue with true fans of the show. In the episode Frozen, Dr. Michaels gives the woman found in the ice an Indian name because she's at
Native
best,
American.
Well, because she's at best 5% Native American. WTF.
What the f***?
It really irritates me when people on TV think after finding out that there is a small percentage of a different race in their DNA, they feel the need to co-opt their culture and heritage so they can feel special. I'm half
Funny.
Indian. He says Indian, not Native American. He's half Indian. And you don't see me naming my daughter Pocahontas.
Just Trump.
P.S. Well, speaking of racist shit, hey there, Maddie. Just so you know, I'm also half Mexican, and when it comes to your Around the World segment on the show, specifically your Mexican accent, I love it. You get my seal of approval. Keep
Damn
it
it.
up, buddy.
Maddie, have you got a fake account called Santos Gonzalez?
Gonzalez.
Well, that's,
Well, Rhys just found out that you got a DNA test back.
I did.
and
Yeah,
you are the father.
If you want to hear about that, that'll be
You
on.
made yourself wrong.
That'll be on story time for Patreon. I'm going to save it for that. But
Ooh, intriguing.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
speaking of, I'm pretty sad that Santos says that I can't change my name based on the small percentage of my background, but I will be.
Ooh, okay.
God, yeah.
I've got a tweet here from Beamer Weber.
Beamster.
Beamer _
The bee.
527 on the tweet.
The B-Dog.
Get Into Gate suggestion. When rating the season episodes, remind us once about each episode, i.e. Bane, the flying sperm episode, sucked sperm balls. I don't have the list in front of me when I'm listening. I can't always remember the names of episodes. I got to be honest with you, Beamer Weber. I've been thinking about that for the last 3 seasons, to be honest.
I just
Oh,
think
you've done so much to intervene with that,
logistically,
Rhys.
wouldn't
Well
that-
done.
Well,
wouldn't
look.
that take way too long? Like,
No, not really.
Well, we mainly can do the top
but then like
3, bottom 3, I guess.
Yeah, well, and then we do. I think we talk about the top 3 and the bottom 3, but the middle ones, who gives a shit? We kind of just roll through them. So,
Yeah,
who does it? Is
I
it
think
like,
it's good. I think it's good if I go. These are my bottom 7. Bane, the one with the flying sperm tilt, gets bloody whatever.
Yeah, but then if I do my bottom 7 next, and my bottom 7 is different to yours, which it normally is, am I going to say the flying sperm as well, or am I going to
No,
say
she just
the
said,
other
well,
one?
that
Why don't
Beamer just said,
Just once.
What at the top of the episode, we go, hey, here's season 6, and we run through the names, and we go, like,
Yeah, that's not a bad
Unnatural
idea.
Selection, Human-Replicators,
Yeah.
Cure, blah, blah, blah. Like, and then,
Yeah, that might
when
be-
we actually come to naming our own episodes and listing them, it's up to the listener to remember. It's up
Yeah.
for us to remember.
I'm down for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds
Run
good.
through it real quick, because I probably, that's half the time why I go, hang on, boys, let's just pause this for a second, because I haven't finished my list. I don't remember what freaking hell these things are about.
yeah, fair enough.
I'm down for that.
I think it'll be easier than what you think it'll be.
Yeah, it'll just be like
the way Mitch said it, I
Bane the
like that.
flying spunk bombs. Yeah, that'll be good. Couple
Sucks
of
spunk balls.
YouTube subscribers here.
Yeah.
Rido1, shout out to Ride. Bonnie Bailey, get Bonnie into your gate.
India Bailey.
Just 2 of the great YouTube subscribers there. And YouTubers in general.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
The Wealth Hustle replied to us on the Origins chat.
Oh, I
that's
was
right.
speaking
Mitch,
about that, yeah.
Mitch brought that up like that was happening like live as we were
That's
recording. Like it was coming. Yeah.
He replied and said Origins.
Hey, don't assume, for fuck's sake.
The Wealth Hustle replied, said Origins. You guys were definitely more entertaining than Origins.
Oh,
yeah,
excellent.
So thank you, The Wealth Hustle, for...
Hustler.
Yeah.
we thought we had a new enemy, but no,
That's
we've got a
the-
new friend.
Yeah.
We like having enemies.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, look,
is.
we don't mind it.
I mean, what's a hero without a villain? You know.
Yeah, God,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I
we're-
feel we're the villains.
That's what I was about to say. We're obviously the villains.
I enjoy
So-
being the bad guy.
Brilliant. And we've got a Facebook recommendation from Amelia Childress. As a long-term SG1 fan, this is absolutely fantastic. I've literally laughed uncontrollably multiple times. Well, I hope you got a laugh out of that one, Amelia, and you're not
No, we're cutting that.
plotting our deaths.
Cutting. Oh, emptied.
Done.
Is it? Is that it?
Finished.
Me drunk.
What is
Oh, yeah, it's time to find out if Rhys been paying attention.
It will be if I wrote a 5th question.
Lightning round.
Oh,
I'll give you an easy one. I have to give him at least 1, otherwise he f***ing cries to mum. Get a call from mum like on the drive home. Did you make it hard for Rhys to get at least 1 question? Yes. F*** him.
he come crying to me. I had to tell him to fuck off again. All right, let's go.
Wait.
30 seconds on the clock. 5 questions. Time starts at the end of the first question.
I really should have written this down. All right. Which replicator did Carter bone over?
What? 5th?
Correct. What was the first planet settled by the Asgard?
Hulla.
Correct. What did Jack want the name of the Prometheus to be?
X303.
Incorrect. According to Thor, what was the radius of the time dilation bubble?
Enterprise.
No, the radius
Jesus.
of the time dilation bubble was not Enterprise.
Maddie, that's 2. Pass.
How many minutes did Jack tell Carter to set the time device for?
3.
Correct. So actually, you got Enterprise, which I was hoping you'd miss again, just because you missed Enterprise a couple of weeks ago. That would have been amazing. And the radius of the time dilation was 0.16 light years. So
I got to write down every number they say in every episode, just in case it comes up as a f***ing question.
correct.
Ding!
Rhys, your father made you wrong!
Just to bookend it with that.
Stupid son of a bitch.
What a dipshit.
One of the greats.
All right, that's episode 123. 1, 2, 3 of Get Into Gate Unnatural Selection. Next week, we are talking about episode 13 of season 6, Sight Unseen. Until then, you can check out all of our old podcasts on the Get Into Gate podcasting channels. Just search the show on your favourite outlets. Follow us on the socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or drop us a long-form email for our hairy mailbag, getintogate@gmail.com.
And if you want to see some unnatural selections, jump onto Patreon, because we've got a few videos of Rhys there. That is completely unnatural, what he's doing on that.
Nobody selected that, mate.
And you can also catch us individually on the socials, on Twitter and Instagram, Mitch_Lewis. That's me. Maddie, where you at?
At High Pitch Matty.
Brendan.
I'm at the Bren Gibson.
And Rhys.
That's the Flying Gibson.
Catch you next week for Sight Unseen right here on Get Into Geek.
Get Into Geek.